first say that I know my walk-on song was not a Motown song, but in many ways it was. That was September by Earth, Wind and Fire. That was my very first hit. I write both music and lyrics. My songs have sold over 60 million records. And to this day, I don't know how to read, write, or play music. My only lessons were Motown. I grew up, I went to Mumford High. Every Saturday, my parents would drive me down to Motown, and I would go and I would sit on the lawn. And I could see everyone walk in and out, which was thrilling. But most importantly, I could hear like bass, background vocals, drums kind of leaking out of the walls. And to this day, those are the only music lessons that I ever took. I was obsessed with black music, very specifically obsessed with Motown. My father was totally just went berserk over my black music obsession. And I would always turn the radio dial all the way to the right where, you know, WJLB, WCHB, Martha Jean McQueen, where those were located, and my father would jump on that radio and twist that dial back to the middle, CKLW, so I could be safe and white. So when I went to college, you know, when most kids go to college, their father writes them like a little love note or good luck in the future. Here's what I got from my father. Stay away from black culture, Dad. That was it. But I got the last word. He passed away in 2002. The very last thing I said to him, I leaned down and I whispered in his ear, I just got the gig to write the Color Purple musical. And he was gone within the hour. So, it's a very true story. So when I graduated college, I got a job at Columbia Records. I was writing all the ads, the radio commercials for all the black acts there. And I thought I wanted to be a record executive because there was one female in the record industry that I constantly heard about, and that was Suzanne Passe. Person alive. As time passed, she became legendary, she became more iconic, and eventually I was lucky enough to become great friends with her. And Suzanne probably doesn't know this, but she was very instrumental in my career. Without knowing it, without me knowing it, in 1991 she nominated me for the AFI, American Film Institute's Women's Directing Award, and I won that award. I am, however, the only person in AFI history who gave the award back, because if you were a guy, you got $10,000 to shoot a half-an-hour film on, for whatever. And, but you could shoot it on film. If you were a female, you got $5,000, and you had to shoot it on video, which in 1991 was not going to get played anywhere. So I basically said, screw you, but in much more colorful language, and I gave the award back. But before I did, AFI put me with a mentor who was going to oversee me make this film. This was a guy named Kevin Bright. But when I gave the award back, I lost Kevin. 3 years later, he produced a little-known television show called Friends. And he remembered me, and he asked me to write the theme song, which I did. I'll Be There For You. That became the biggest airplay record of 1994. And like September, every Motown song that's ever been written, I'll Be There For You has never gone away. Friends would have never happened for me without Suzanne to Passe. If she had not put me up for that award, I never ever would have met Kevin Bright. That theme song wouldn't happen. So I want to give a personal thank you to Suzanne for giving me my own Jackson 5 moment. Suzanne has blazed trails. She's set a high bar for excellence in her just extraordinary journey through every aspect of entertainment. She's cultured, but she's outspoken. Upon meeting Berry Gordy, she offered him her opinion about his operations, and in turn he offered her a job, which was really smart. When that happened, history was made and history was changed. She began as his creative assistant. She rose through the ranks at Motown. She made her way to run the film and TV division. She was nominated for an Academy Award, writing, co-writing, and producing Lady Sings the Blues. And 45 years later, she remains the only woman of color to achieve this honor. Suzanne was considered one of the rising black female Hollywood executives, a growing role model to young girls and women of every color looking to break into the business. Today she remains one of the most powerful female executives in Hollywood. Suzanne de Passe has diversified and illuminated whatever game she was in, whether it was music, television, film. And now we are going to see a piece on the wonderful Suzanne de Passe. Motown 25.
Mine is not there, I'm telling you. First Miss America, now this. I would like to sincerely thank all of the members of the Academy for voting for us. Al Levine, who explained the true meaning of deficit financing to me, over and over again, to our extraordinary artists who came back and joined us for a celebration of a man who changed my life so extraordinarily and so dramatically that I just want to tell him, Berry Gordy, I love you, and this one's for you. Thank you.
Motown 25. Yesterday, today, forever.
Working in Motown was a gift. I literally went from standing on line in the rain to see these acts at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, New York, to now being the emissary from Berry Gordy.
She nurtured a lot of the artists. She was there when they were beginning their careers, and she was there throughout their careers.
The first time I saw the Jackson 5 was incredible. And I called Mr. Gordy. I said, you are not going to believe it when you see these kids. He went, kids? I don't want any kids. I went back to him again and said that he just absolutely had to see them.
What do you want to do?
Silent, they're great, they're fantastic.
It was wonderful to get a chance to play her and be a part of that slice of history when she was so integral in getting the Jackson 5 to become a worldwide success.
was completely blown away when Barry Gordy called me very early one morning to say that Ladies and the Blues had been nominated for 5 Academy Awards. So, great. And I said, but that's only 4, what's the 5th one? He said, oh, yeah, screenplay.
Motown Productions became Gordy to Passe Productions. Over the years, the high-quality programs amassed 66 Emmy nominations, 11 Emmy Awards, 3 Peabody Awards, 3 NAACP Image Awards, a Cable Ace Award, and a Golden Globe.
Hey, Suzanne de Passe, I was going to sing you a whole song. I wrote you a whole number. And I thought I would call it the Suzanne de Passe to Pass. Don't you love it? I do. But wait, you know, you've been so instrumental in bringing so much joy into the world. I mean, hey, I know everybody else thinks that other people discovered the Jackson 5, but I know it was you, Suzanne. I know that Motown would probably just be Mo if you hadn't been there. You put the town in Motown. So this is for you. I'm sorry, what? Oh, right now? Oh, Suzanne, I would sing it for you, but I gotta go. Ain't that a bitch? Congratulations, baby.
Talk about a game changer. This one? In so many ways, Alle Willis has changed the game. It's so delightful to get this award from her in the spirit of Motown. She's a true Detroit person. And I have to say that any white woman who writes Boogie Wonderland is okay with me. You know, when I got to Motown, and it's hard to recall all of the feelings that I had walking into the Hitsville building. I was one of the last new people to work on West Rand, now Barry Gordy Boulevard. And what I'm so impressed with, and what I think is so important for people to know, is how many women were running departments at Motown. I have to say that if anyone is thinking about going to work someplace as a woman, particularly a young woman, try to find a boss who has 4 sisters. You know, Esther, Anna, Gwen, and Lucy were so involved and so important to the company. But then there were people like Billie Jean Brown, who ran quality control, Faye Hale in manufacturing, Fran Hurd, now she was Fran Hurd then. There she is, over there, Fran. And Betty O'Shea. All of them had responsibilities that let me know in a way that it wasn't intellectual, but just sort of emotional, that it was a safe place to be a woman. And it was safe in every respect, I might add. You know, you cannot possibly change the game unless someone puts you in it.
Yes.
And Barry Gordy did that for me. They took bets when I got there, how long I'd last. Iris, are you listening? It's shady, but it's okay. I do love her though. And January 1st, 2020 will be 52 years. I guess I made it. Without an opportunity to grow, to learn, you know, Barry's the type of person
to throw you in the deep end of the pool and go, oh, by the way, can you swim? And he is truly my mentor and my tormentor. Because working for Berry Gordy is not easy. Now, mind you, I haven't actually worked for him since like 1992. Yet, when you work for Berry Gordy, you never don't work for Berry Gordy. So we continue to celebrate anniversaries. We continue to work together on all kinds of things, and it's really exciting to have a relationship with your mentor that spans so many decades. You know, they lost that bet about me, and you know, the real thing that 50 years, soon to be 52, I was the youngest person in the room when I got there, and somehow along the way I became the oldest person in the room. And I was there the whole time. But what happens is, somewhere along the way, a word crept into my world. Still. Not a photograph that doesn't move, not a wine that doesn't fizzle or bubble. I'll give you an example. Hey, Suzanne, you still look good. I was kind of fishy, but hey, Suzanne, are you still on a diet? And my favorite, actually, is, hey, Suzanne, are you still working? Damn it, yes. And at first I was highly insulted. And then I realized that, you know, time has marched on since I began in 1968 at Motown Records. And then I realized that what Berry Gordy gave me was the chance to express myself, to create, to be part of a team. The women at Motown that I mentioned earlier worked behind the scenes, and when you're a behind-the-scenes woman, you know, sometimes it takes a really long time for you to be recognized and get credit for what you're doing. But I wouldn't trade a minute of it. It was hard, it was fair, and I wish for everyone to be able to say, damn it, I'm still at it. Thank you.